So this is Let It Brew, the new podcast from London Coffee Festival. And I'm very happy to be here today with Schray from Fellow Products. Why did I call it Fellow Products?
I don't know, but
That's not like me. Anyway, Caroline from Fellow, Dan Fellows, not from Fellow, but from Slayer and various other ventures.
That's me.
That's you. And Andrea Ventrice from Califia Farms.
Hello, guys.
Hi, everybody.
hello, hello.
So today we're going to talk about opening your perfect coffee shop. Now, the reason we're all here is because we do not currently own a coffee shop between us. So I thought that would be an interesting viewpoint for the topic. So I'm going to start with you, Andrea. Tell me, where would you have your coffee shop?
I thought about this for the entire 10 years that I've been working in coffee, actually. I think I would open it in South London, somewhere in South London. There's not enough good coffee in South London, so probably somewhere between like Brixton and Croydon, somewhere in between there. Could be nice, give people good coffee even in South London.
I'd open it on the beach.
You completely stole my idea.
I'm
let's
totally...
do this together now.
I'm just being selfish. I want to go to the beach, and if I can find a way to go to the beach and do things I enjoy.
Seaside will be a dream,
Right.
Like a coffee shop seaside, it would be amazing.
I feel like we're probably going to get to coffee cocktails at some point, but coffee cocktails on the beach, sunshine, sand, that's my dream.
I don't like thinking about the elements, right? Because there's like the breeze, the wind, but we don't care about that. We just, that's not going to affect the coffee at all.
I like how you went immediately to coffee cocktails. So that means your perfect coffee shop is also a bar.
Yeah, for those I've not met before, I'm quite into coffee and cocktails.
Had no idea.
What's your favorite one?
If I'm in my coffee shop on the beach, coffee Mai Tai,
Ooh.
sunshine.
I'm available.
What about location? Where that would be? Is there like a beach town in mind that you would be like, that's the place?
I mean, I live near the sea, but it's also in the UK, so the weather's not particularly consistent. Actually, it's very consistent, but it's not consistently good. So maybe if I'm taking my life out of it and just the coffee shop itself, somewhere that's consistently sunny. Yeah.
I like it. What's answer 2 for you?
Plan B, I guess, would be like the mountains, somewhere in Japan.
Well, mountains, you stole my answer.
That's how it goes.
I'm like, oh, I'll do it in a bin.
In a bin, yeah, exactly, yeah. Over there.
It'll be either that. I could go like completely different, really like polarized. I could go either mountains or I could go Amazon forest, like something really like a coffee shop in the jungle, something really crazy.
So it would have to be like a destination coffee
A destination coffee shop. I mean, there's a lot of tourism there.
I saw one recently on some kind of travel blog. Up the side of a mountain you can only climb, there's like a little hatch.
Yes.
I don't know how high up, but pretty high. That's a pretty cool place for a coffee shop. Not very busy.
Wonder how they got the plumbing up there.
Very sensible question.
My mind went straight to water.
Or if you can fill it with a jug and plug it into the wall, maybe that's the solution. Am I right?
Moving swiftly on. I'm just going to go back to my coffee shop in the bin now. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Tell us about yours.
I think, I like the whole, like the culture around like après ski and like getting down to the bottom of the mountain. But then instead of having a not very good beer or a cocktail, having a flat white or obviously you're not there to make the cocktails, but just a nice coffee, like a filter coffee after skiing.
Are you making the cocktails?
That's pretty cool.
Are you making the cocktails? I've seen your cocktails.
Yeah, would you like a pint of espresso martini? I'm your guy.
Check out his Instagram. Actually, don't.
Well,
Not for cocktails.
skip that one. Not for cocktails, no. Okay, so who's got an inventive or creative name for their coffee shop?
Don't know if it's creative, but my idea has always been Tino. So that is called Caffè Tino. Or Caffettino in Italian is like a small coffee. It's like the equivalent of the gesture. When someone asks you if you want a coffee, you just do this or say Caffettino.
But in your accent, it sounds amazing. But in Brixton,
I think people in London are used now to different accents and different languages. So especially with Italian, I think they're going to be able to pronounce it well. I have
like it.
in
Cafe
and you British people.
Cappuccino.
Caffettino.
I don't know what my coffee shop would be called, but I guarantee it'd be a pun.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to call it Dan's Beach Hut.
Dan's Beach Hut?
Yeah.
Probably not.
No.
Thanks for the advice, though.
You got one? You got a good one?
I thought about that. My wife and I, we always wanted to open a bar in South America, and we really like and admire Frida Kahlo's like art and everything that she's done and she's been through. And we've always thought about Frida Bar. So it would be something around that, but like coffee shop, like Frida House, Casa del Frida, something like that.
Yeah.
Not Portuguese, but yeah, Spanish for sure.
Get the .com now.
Right?
Yeah, get it.
I think we already have the
That's good.
Instagram handle, actually.
My friend wanted to open a coffee bar called 9 Bar, which I guess is quite a good name for a coffee and cocktail shop.
It's really good,
I
actually.
can't
Yeah.
take credit for it.
But you will try.
Maybe.
Okay, so one of the most important things in a coffee shop is obviously the coffee. So if you had to pick, I mean, my list here is like espresso roaster, like we're talking a multi-roaster here. So espresso roaster, filter roaster, and maybe like an ultimate guest roaster that's a bit special as well. Where would you go?
I'll stay local for the espresso, and I'll say Assembly. They do an amazing work. I think their espressos is some of the best I've had in the UK. I think I'd try to keep it open for the filter. I would have that in rotation as well. I would try to have as many roasters as possible. I think that's one of the nice things of cafes is that you can try different coffees on rotation. Probably the first one would be Round Hill.
Oh, nice.
I discovered them during lockdown. They do amazing filters, so they're probably my first choice. Yeah.
I can talk about how I'd choose a roaster and how I wouldn't choose a roaster.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't choose on price. The cheapest
Agreed.
is not the best. Even if it appears to be a similar quality, something has to give. If someone's like super cheap, chances are somewhere in that chain that someone is paying that price. So I totally wouldn't buy on price. If I were to try to save money, I'd try to save through efficiencies rather than kilo price. And I would look for coffee quality, good relationships with coffee farmers, quality roast level. But there are so many amazing roasters right now. It's not like choosing A, B, or C. It's the ones you resonate with as people, as a business,
Yeah.
shared approaches.
Yeah, and I think coffee shops also become known for exactly that. Like, you know, if somewhere is buying the cheapest coffee, and that's the reason you don't go there. Whereas if you know they've got this amazing roster of the who's who of great coffee roasters, which is vast, it's pretty special. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. I think I'll go I'll take the same approach there and maybe think about like flavor and profile as well. I don't have like a specific name in mind. Thought about that a lot, but nothing really came to mind. There's so many good people doing great things out there. It's hard to pick one, but I would find easier and I think more me to go that way and approach that view, right? Just creating the relationship as well. I think that's important.
Yeah, I think you become known for the roasters you associate with as well.
Oh, the baristas are, I think, the stars of our industry. There should be more focus on the baristas, if anything. I think that they drive our cafes every day. I think the choice, if anything, of what we drink outside of the cafe is depending on the baristas. Because when I go to a cafe and I have a barista that wants to tell me about coffee, I want to hear it. I want to hear it from the person that is there every day making it, right?
It's nothing better than walking into a coffee shop and they look up and say, "Hey, what can I get you?" And you ask, "What do you got?" And then they just go. And it's like, "We've got this, it tastes like this." And it's like, I'm in the right place, you know? And it doesn't happen all the time, but like, that's my coffee shop. It's like that.
Barista's choice.
100%.
That's a good name, actually.
I like
Coffee
that.
shop.
What am I drinking? What do you want? You tell me. What
Tell
are you
me.
drinking?
Yeah.
What are you excited about?
What am I drinking then? What would you serve me in your coffee shop if I walked in?
Alex
and
Dantes-Smith Espresso Martini XL.
said, the beefy boy.
One and done. It's about half a litre.
One and done on the floor.
I know.
I'm never going to live that down, am I?
Absolutely. You tagged me. That's the
I
problem.
know, yeah.
Look at me. Look at me. I made a cocktail.
You are the master, and I needed your critique. I regret that.
Totally.
Okay, so we touched on another thing there, like the people in your coffee shop. So important. How do you approach that? How do you find the right people to make it a success? This might be quite a difficult question.
I would always employ on personality over skill. I feel like if you're a business owner, you have a level of skill, or at least a network of skilled people to bounce from and provide training to. You can make great people, great baristas, great bartenders. You can't make necessarily people who are immensely skilled at making drinks give great customer service. Particularly, and like, I think the whole industry is like cyclical. You go through phases of loving it and then being maybe a little exhausted by the whole thing. You want to find people who are like super passionate or even new to the industry and train them into a position. There's also habits involved, which might not be the best habits.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think relationship, it's really key. I'm in sales and I know that I think And when it comes to like my own sales philosophy, I put my relationship and how I build that always beforehand. I think that comes first. And of course, the numbers are in the back of my mind. And like analyzing numbers and evaluating if that client's going to be a good fit. I think it doesn't matter what you're doing or who you're hiring as long as there is passion and they're curious. I think curiosity is also a really good thing to have, like when you're hiring someone or interviewing someone to be part of your team. So I think also tackle like that.
I think also like a lot of coffee shops take inspiration from the owner as well, right? So I know your coffee shop would be like amazing to walk into because
Thank you.
you're standing at the front going, "Hey everybody," you know? And I think same for all of us. I think, not speaking for myself, of course, but everything you just said, Dan, is like, I feel like you should have your own coffee shop now because you've already done the brain work to get there.
I don't know. Not currently. I'm not looking to open a coffee shop in the immediate future.
What I mean is, though, you're very knowledgeable on what you wouldn't do.
Yeah.
You're very informed and you know you have these
It's
things
easy
in
to
mind.
say what you wouldn't do until you do it, though. So I have full empathy for people who do have businesses and the decisions they make.
I mean, I want to go to Dan's beach hut.
Not called that.
What about you, Andrea, with the people?
I 100% agree with what Dan said. I will add on top of that a focus on training and development. I think especially nowadays where it's so difficult to find skilled baristas with great personalities and passion, you need to be able to offer value that goes above salary. So opportunities to develop and grow within the business and stimulate like an entrepreneurial approach. Because if they see a value and they see the effort that you put in as an owner and they're able to match that, then I think you have the perfect team that cares about your brand as if it was theirs.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, so what about a unique trait for your coffee shop? Like if it was something that set your coffee shop apart. I remember going to a coffee shop in Berkeley in California with board games, for example. It was full of people drinking coffee, playing board games. Honestly, it wasn't the most mind-blowing coffee shop, but the board game thing kind of sucked me in and I was like, that's cool. So like, is there something that you would have that would be
I think you need it. I was talking to someone earlier about the extremes of the coffee, the extremes of the specialty coffee cafe scene. The top end does really well. The bottom end tends to be quite busy because people associate with like consistency, dark roast, etc. The middle ground, there's so many people struggling to identify themselves as a business because they don't have that USP. I know coffee shops are like a pinball space. Some people have said it can become quite homogenous within our industry. You need something to set you apart, which is only saying, great question, really. But it doesn't matter what it is because people resonate with all manner of hobbies. If you can bring people in for a unique reason, I think more people will come and they've got two reasons to come rather than just great coffee and service.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I would dive into, and that's probably your next question about like food, what you serve. And I think I would go that route. I think I would like mix with some sort of like different culinary people that what you wouldn't be expecting in a coffee shop, but make that a really good treat to go with certain type of coffee or like a recipe that you have, something like that. I would go like I'll take the food route, pastries, or I could also have like a corner where I would be having guest liquors, tequila, like just a corner, and I'll be serving like shots on Fridays.
I thought you said slippers, not sippers.
I heard slippers.
I heard slippers. Give me slippers, give me a duvet,
Okay,
give me a coffee, I'm happy.
Come in, take your shoes off at the door, put your slippers on, and then have a coffee. Sounds good, actually.
Sleeping pod.
Like, that'll be in Japan, so we did that. Yeah.
Can we do that? That one with slippers, though?
So let's do it. I think that's a great idea.
Okay. What about yourself, Andrea? Any thoughts on unique traits?
I've always had this idea of doing a cafe during the day that turns into hardcore aperitivo by 6 p.m. Being able to utilize all day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty big. California, that's all they got. It becomes a tin fish.
I think that could be more culture of aperitivo in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, it's like drinks just after. I mean, you do it well with the pub, but if there was some food in the mix as well, that would be great. We had some recent experience where food was not present in a pub.
We did.
And we had to sort it out ourselves. It didn't work really well. So
It did not.
a solution to that would be best. So you don't get kicked out of the pub for every slices of pizza.
Yeah, you don't want to be forcefully removed from anywhere. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
Next question.
Actually, I think it's quite an interesting point with the drinks after the coffee. Like, a lot of coffee shops close at 5, close at 6, and then that's real estate not being used for something to make money and to to serve and to do something. Drinks in the evening after the coffee finishes, I think, is a pretty important part of it.
Hard agree.
Hard agree.
Yeah.
I want to go to yours for the aperitivo, and I want to go to yours for the slippers, and I want to go to yours for my signature cocktail, the pint of espresso martini.
Sounds pretty good.
Does sound good, yeah.
Coffee Negronis, I would add.
Oh,
It's amazing.
Oh, coffee Negronis.
you've thrown me off now because I want one of those. I want a coffee Negroni now.
Can anyone sort it out for it?
It's been a nice conversation, guys.
Can anyone hear us?
Negronis, no.
So we've got locations, we've got some roasters, we've got slippers, we've got a few other features confirmed. Is there anything we've missed that is fundamental to the perfect coffee shop?
How about like music?
How are you doing the ambience in there?
It's going to sound a bit of a cliche because I'm Brazilian, but there would definitely be some lo-fi, bossa nova
Oh, yeah.
going on.
I'm there. What about, come on, you got an Italian theme.
That was going to be my first answer, was some lo-fi so they can go all day. I'd like to add an element of like hip-hop to it. Could be a little bit repetitive, so maybe something a bit more on the chill vibe. But I like stuff like that in coffee shops. I think the lo-fi vibe is good.
Yeah.
But it can be a little bit repetitive at some point. And if you're opening for aperitivo at 6, you need to change it up.
It would change it.
Yeah. Something a little bit with more rhythm.
Beachy music? I don't know.
I think music either needs to say nothing or say everything about your business.
Yep.
It either needs to sit into the background you don't even notice, or it needs to be the thing you're famous for. So whatever it is, it should be one of those two things, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If it's somewhere in the middle, it can be quite annoying.
The first thing that comes to my mind with music in a coffee shop is when you walk into Dark Arts Coffee and it's just hammering the heavy metal in there. I'm like, this is so on brand.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Love it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. For like 10 minutes and then out of there.
That's probably what most coffee shops want.
This
In,
is true, yeah.
Spend your money, go again.
And leave.
We're pretty good. Well, I think we've come up with some really good coffee shops here.
Yeah.
Good names, good features, good music.
Good location.
So who do you think's going to be first to do it?
Not me. My
Maybe-
business is open too long with too many hours to do it by myself.
Just before I retire, maybe.
So I guess it's going to be me.
I think it is, yeah. You seem to have like yours really honed in with the music and the shots of tequila in the corner.
I just hope my wife is not listening to all of it.
I want to go to them all. They all sound good. This is really interesting. Thank you guys for joining us
I
for
shall.
the first
Thank you.
the first podcast to be seen on a platform near you very soon.